Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 83 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series, where today I have let this reactor thingy fill up with sodium. So we've got a large amount of sodium in there. We should be backstuffing sodium now. I kind of let it fill up and then logged right out, so we should be getting close to backstuffing. So we can go peek back at our main base and see what's up, right? We may or may not see this filling. Oh yeah, look, he's already filling up. Nice. Well, that's cool. So we'll have a nice buffer here in this ultimate chemical tank. We'll have a little buffer in here. Really tiny one. Really, really tiny. But then like our brine will backstuff. Like we'll have a lot of backstuffed resources in a few minutes here at least. So the long and short of it is we should be able to run our reactor at higher temperatures without problem. So I'm going to turn this on the safe way using the button. Right, and we should have no problem at this point running this thing with a high burn rate, right? I should be able to bump it up to 100. And look at that, no heat gain. Nice, that is cool. 125, like we want to be careful, obviously. Nice, nice and stable. So you're now using a decent amount of sodium going on. Now, obviously, it's gonna, that backlog that I just talked about is all gone right now. Because there's a lot of sodium flowing through these pipes, right? So they're going to hold a lot of them. So we need to keep that in mind, right? But your water tank, your boil rate, so he's definitely not even close to his max boil capacity, which is nice to see. This guy is not even close to his max flow rate. I mean, he's actually a little bit close. And that might be because I did not do a good job, apparently, with the thing. Like, I looked at the wiki, it said to build it of this structure and this size, and then, yeah, it was like, no, you didn't do it right, Direwolf. What are you thinking? So 150, and our temperature's still pretty hot. Like it's in the yellow zone, but it's stable, so that's cool. What if we bump you up to 200? Ooh, yeah, you're hot. Oh, he's gaining, and scram. And scram. So what happened there? Do we need even more sodium to maintain that? Yeah, look, his sodium tank gets low, because he's consuming so much coolant. So not only do we need a massive amount of coolant here, right? So what were we at that was stable? 175-ish? Nope. Nope. 175 was not a safety valve number. 150? Yeah, pretty, but yeah, okay, now sodium stabilizing-ish. Okay. 160? I want to find like a nice threshold. 175 is stable now. 185? Still stable. 200? Hot, hot, hot. 185? Going back to 185. Do I have 185? 185, 185. See, you know what? That's interesting. That's interesting. I wonder if there's like a threshold at which it can transfer the stuff fast enough. I feel like maybe that's a limiting factor here, is our piping can't transfer stuff fast enough. Because he can totally handle 185. Right? Like, he stabilizes, right? And then look, his sodium goes back up. So I wonder if we're having a problem with transfer speeds. Or maybe it's this water. Maybe we don't have enough water going on? I don't even know. I don't even know. Maybe we want like more pipes happening. Might not be a bad idea. Cause yeah, look, if we see this, right, what happens is, right, watch the sodium tank. It's gonna go down really low, and then it recovers shortly thereafter. See it going back up? So that recovery period is where stuff is going sideways. So if I bumped you back up to 175, can I turn you on scratch 175? See, he gets real low, and then he overheats before that sodium recovers. Haha. I bet that has something to do with water flow over here. I would wager that is what's happening. So what if we tweaked this to 170? And hot, 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 hot. Whoop. Yeah, see, he runs out of water, basically. And then that's the reactor turning off. Right? So that might be what's happening. He's not cooling fast enough because he don't have enough water? I don't even know at this point. Yeah, look, because water drops way too much. So we need to just pipe more water in, or like you need to flow more water back. That's probably also what needs to happen. So you're off at the moment, right? Yes, definitely. So let's be prepared for more of these boiler valves. Let's get 1, 2, 3 more boiler valves from the boiler, right? Boiler valves. So give me 2 more of those, or a total of 3. And more ultimate mechanical pipes. And let's see if we can get the flow of water fast enough. Because my suspicion here is that water is not flowing back fast enough. And that's where we're going awry. So if we quadruple the rate at which water can flow back, that might be cool. Yes? Does that seem fair to you guys? So let's see what happens if I kick this guy onto 170 now. So maybe just too much water is in use at the moment. Or maybe something's happening over there to the steam guy. I don't know, to be honest with you. Look at that, that's cool. You can kind of see the water thing doing its thing. Yeah. Yeah, see, I'm not 100% sure. Superheated sodium. Wow, we have a lot of sodium in there that's superheated. Why are you not cooling off, by the way? Boil rate is 3.4. But you're not running, right? Oh, you are active. Are you active? Yeah, you're active. At 170. Nice. Well, that's cool. That's cool. 185. And you're happily running at that speed. So I think what we did helped, actually. So you should have no sodium now. And you should have no steam. Let's see if I can turn you on from scratch at 185. Oh, I can. That did help. Whatever I did helped. Can I turn you on from scratch at 200? I feel like whatever I did helped. I feel like it did, right? Because water's flowing back nice and fast. And that's cool. Can you go 225? Nope. Too hot for 225 still. See, it's a good thing we have the safety valves on, especially for this one. Especially for this one. Yeah, 210 is too much. It takes a second, though. Let's do 205. Because I would really like to, whatever I've built here, and this is half me learning how this works. 205 is too much. 203. I want to find a nice one that takes a second so I can kind of pay attention. So yeah, that takes a second to overheat, but it's going to hit it. Right? And I think it's just that we don't have enough backlog of sodium. And that's cool. So let's try and watch what happens over here just to make sure that my theory is correct. So we're doing okay on water. And you're handling this just fine. Right? And then we just overdid it, right? So I think it's a lack of sodium still is my problem, believe it or not. I think we need like far more sodium like in here. Ready to go in here. Right? Like we've got sodium in this guy, right? This is a pressurized tube full, not full, but has a bunch of sodium in it that's being exported. I think we don't have enough sodium. It's all being consumed, and it's not moving fast enough. I wonder if I had a second. Are you exporting fast enough? Let's try that. Maybe we need more lines of sodium coming back into the reactor. Like, are you exporting your cold sodium fast enough? I mean, you seem to be. And he overheated, right? Yeah. So he's not getting backstuffed in the coolant tank. That's remaining empty. That's remaining empty for sure. See, it's definitely not that we don't have enough water coming in now. That helped the problem, right? It's that we don't have enough sodium ready to go, I think is your issue. So part of me wants to try another boiler valve and fission reactor port. Just for fun, should we try adding another set of those to see if that helps? It may. It may. So let's do fission reactor port. Let's do boiler valve set to output coolant. Let's do pressurized tube ready to do his job. And now we'll have 2 sets of sodium coming back out. Maybe that'll help. I honestly don't know. Let's hit the button though. And yeah, I think our problem is definitely not enough. Does that feel better, or am I just crazy? Did that feel a little bit better? It might just be that we've backlogged a little bit more sodium, but it might not be that, right? Because the tanks are nice and empty. So I'm wondering if you guys just aren't transferring fast enough. Let me make sure that you're set to this, and you're set to that. Maybe that'll help. Because you guys are both definitely set to coolant mode, right? Yeah, you got the blue bar, so that's neat. Yeah, what's interesting is this seems to be handling it all, and this isn't doing any. Which is okay, I guess. So that tells me it's really not too much of a problem. I think it's just a lack of sodium. I just think we don't have enough excess sodium. I think the same problem that we had before is occurring, but so much sodium is being consumed over here. Like it's all being consumed at once, right? So I think as more sodium builds up back at my main base, we're going to be able to run this thing even hotter, right? So like right now we're at 203, right? Shortly I'll be able to run 203 once we have more sodium input, right? Without an overheat. Because so much of it is being turned into heated sodium. And it's not that it's not cooling fast enough. It's absolutely cooling fast enough. It's just this is how much is coming in per tick, right? Every tick, that much sodium is coming in. So not a big deal. If I run you at 202, are you going to be groovy? I feel like yes. Yep, 100% groovy. 100% groovy, right? And we're going to continuously gain more sodium. And that's all the good stuffs, right? Alright, let's keep an eye on this for a bit. I'll come back. I do, however, like the 10 million RF a tick that we're producing. That's kind of cool. And that's at this number, right? This is at the 202. We're gonna produce 50% more than that, at least. So we should be hovering around the 15 million RF a tick mark. Feels pretty good. Feels pretty good. I'm liking this. I'm liking it. I'm enjoying mechanism nuclear reactors, as you can probably tell. Now, 203, we can handle 203 now. See? Like I said, once we have enough sodium in the tank, we'll be able to handle 203, and we absolutely can. I doubt we can handle 204, though, right? Yeah, see, now 204 is getting the overheating mark, right? So it's not just that you need to fill up the tank, but you also have enough, you have to have enough sodium available to fill the gap that's caused when you heat it, because we're literally heating 112,000 buckets of coolant every tick. So, like, it's not going to process it any faster than that, right? Like, this guy's processing it as fast as it can and spitting it right back into here. But there's a significant gap, a significant loss of sodium, so we just need more sodium. That's what it comes down to. You need a nice buffer, right? And then you'll be good. Now, as you can see, we also are not great on fissile fuel. That's a thing we might need to improve. I don't know where my gap is. My gap is either in uranium, which a little bit yes, but I think it's this guy ain't producing fast enough. Chemical oxidizer. What you got? So you're pretty good here. What if we just made another chemical oxidizer? Does that seem doable? I mean, like, I feel like it does. I think that's doable, right? I feel like that's doable. Do the thing real quick. Because his limiting factor on this guy is just having enough of this yellow cake uranium stuff. So what if we just did you such that items would be input on top and gases would be eject on left, auto eject on. What do you got? An ultimate down there? Universal cable, mechanical pipe, logistical transporter, bada bing. Universal cable, good to go. We should also get our speed upgrades from mechanism. So speed and energy upgrades. Cool. And that's all the upgrades we had over here. So you are, what color are you? Purplish? Reddish? I don't even know. Dark red? Seems like a cool deal. Yeah, he's currently dark red. Nice! And then we've got that happening. Nice. Okay, cool. And then you... gases input from left, right, I think back should also be an input. Nice. And now we've got doubled up our chemical oxidizer. So I think our takeaway here is that we're going to need more yellow cake uranium. I think that's really what it comes down to. And remind me what this costs. It's just the enrichment chamber. So what I should do is speed up the production of yellow cake uranium and have more kept in stock here. I think that's really... Like if I just made a bunch of this, I can add... Come on, buddy. Back stuff your stuff. Yeah, you guys are processing too fast. I'll turn you off for a sec. Turn you off for a sec. Cool. So you're sulfur dust, you're yellow cake. Make you 64. Yeah, I can just do this. Thank you very much. And then you, and you, and then home, we're going to change our yellow cake uranium recipe in the enrichment chamber. This is nice that you can easily do this. You can literally just click on it and make it 30 at a time. So 30 becomes 60, right? Easy peasy. And now, when you need it, it's going to make, 60 at a time, right? It'll drop 30 in there, and that's your crafting pattern. That's pretty cool, right? Much faster way to process. And if we really needed to, we could even bump this guy up to elite tier. As you can see, I did with my steel production at some point. So, feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good. You're running, right? Fissile fuel is getting there. We may need to even further increase the production of that stuff, but we'll find out. Yeah, you don't seem to be going fast enough, do you? Definitely still not. So I might wind up having to do another one. Could probably do it on top, maybe? I don't know, we'll see. I'll play with it. I'll come up with something. But yeah, our production of uranium, or fissile fuel is insufficient. Insufficient fissile fuel production. Yeah, now it's all about just making the numbers huge because it's fun. But I'm going to turn you off for a minute, right? Because everything's been running great. How are we on power? Not bad. 230 billion RF stored and climbing. Let's also not forget that fusion's a thing that we could totally get into if we wanted to. But that's salt-based heat reactors, which is fun. Like, I like this multi-block. I like it a lot. I mean, did I do this the optimal way? Absolutely not even a little bit. But I think what I want to do next is maybe look at getting more uranium, because that's going to rapidly become a problem for us. And then obviously just let the sodium build up, right? I think that's going to be an important bit. is just letting the sodium build up. More and more sodium will be more and more good. How much is actually stored down here? Not a lot, I believe. Yeah, only 512 buckets. So comparatively, that's a tiny, insignificant amount. But, you know, it's all good. So what do you say we look at RFTools Dimensions and figure out what we need to do to get some stuff going on? So we want a dimension builder. I know that. We want an empty dimension tab. I know that. I don't know that we need a phased field generator yet. So empty dimlets is craftable with dimensional shards. Good to know. Empty terrain dimlets control the shape of the terrain in a dimension. That's cool. I don't know how these work, right? I don't know what happens or how all this happens at this point. But these would be configured templates, right? So I guess we can make the empty versions of the dimlets and then customize them. So there's modules that I guess... Oh, they look craftable. Are they craftable now? That's cool. Rare dimensional essence. So there is nothing in JEI that's telling me where that comes from. I wonder if that's like the explorational bit. Because there's nothing in JEI that's telling me that. But then there's also the inscriber, the workbench, the knowledge holder. I don't know a lot of these things. I don't know the knowledge holder. Researcher, that's cool. This device can research various things in order to get knowledge. Oh, is that what this is? I don't know. Reduce power consumption and faster processing. Oh, hey, look, there's a book. Well, there you go. There you go. There's a book. That's super cool. There's some kind of book at least. I pressed F1 for help, and I closed it, and now it's not coming back. Oh no! Oh no! There we go. It's back. Cool. Technology guide. RFTools base. Aha! Aha! There's a technology guide. Look at that. Okay, cool. RFTools builder, RFTools control, dimensions. Look at that. Okay, creating dimlets, creating dimensions. Nice. Power, storage, utility, XNet, entry index. All right, not bad. Well, that's cool. I didn't even know this was a thing. Creating dimlets. All right. Creating dimensions. To create dimensions, you need the inscriber and dimension builder. So using an inscriber, you can combine various dimlets into a realized dimension tab. That tab you can then give to the dimension builder. And the dimension builder takes a realized dimension tab and creates a dimension from it. If the dimension is already created, it will maintain the dimension, give it power. All right, so we need the dimension builder and the inscriber for sure, right? So inscriber, go, go, go. So I would like you to know how to make empty dimlets. And I would like you to know how to make empty dimension tabs so that you're ready for these, right? So if you guys have seen RFTools Dimensions before, cool. If you haven't, don't worry. I will be explaining how all this works. Paper. We don't know how to make paper. How do we not have the pattern for paper in here? You'd think that would be a pattern that we would have taught by now, but maybe you thought wrong. So that's cool. So inscriber is how we get our dimensions. Dimension builder is, or inscriber is how we define what the dimensions will look like, right? And dimension builder is how we create the dimensions from that definition and also power the dimensions so that they can run, right? And then we're going to want our dimension tab. Do we want a dimlet workbench? I mean, I don't see why not. That seems like a good time. Do we want a knowledge holder? Sure. Also sounds cool. That's new to me. That one I don't know, right? And then researcher also looks interesting. Sweet. So this is all your RFTools Dimension stuff, right? I'm gonna play with this in the sub basement for a few minutes, but I might wind up with something cool for it. I'm not sure. So inscriber and dimension builder are two of the main ones. Inscriber does not need power still, so that's cool. The dimension builder does need power because the basic way this works is these guys need power to be maintained. So if you want a dimension, you need power. So that's cool. So we're gonna close you guys off, and I'm gonna make sure that Mr. Cow is being quiet, because I thought you were already quiet over here. You know what? I did update the pack, so I get my. I think my anchors were lost. I think my anchors were lost when I updated the pack. So you can have a radius of 8. There you go. Accept. And Mr. Cow. Shh. And I'm assuming you guys aren't being noisy because you're full, right? Yes-ish. Yes-ish. We'll deal with them later. Cool. So power, good, good. So the real basic gist of this is if you want a totally random dimension, you make an empty dimension tab, and you put it in there, and you give it a name, dim1. All lowercase, huh? Okay, cool. Hey, look at that. Cool. Neat. Dim1. Let's call it random dim1. Random dim1. Store. Hey, cool. That's neat. So that's how you make a very basic dimension. So now that we've got a random dimension, we've got our realized dimension tab. That goes in here. It costs power to generate that. Once it's generated, it's ready to go, right? So maintenance cost is 28 RF a tick. So based on what's in this dimension, it requires 28 RF a tick to keep it powered, right? So that's nothing, right? I'm going to disable limit on you. Okay, I guess 20,000 RF a tick is all you can accept from that side. I think we can augment this machine to accept more. But if we customize this dimension, which we'll cover in future episodes, probably next or the one after, it'll cost more, right? So customization. So if you want a dimension entirely populated with, I don't know, spitball here, coming out of, completely out of the blue, uranium ore, right? If we want a dimension with lots of uranium ore, that would cost a lot of RF to maintain. So we're gonna have to figure out how that works in the new in the new iteration of RFTools Dimension, but we've now got this, right? So now if we looked at RFTools and we checked out, so we have a way to get home because we have our charge port already. So all we need is a transmitter, right? And a dialing device. These two blocks will work together to dial up a dimension and teleport us there. How cool does that sound? I think it sounds very cool because I like it. I think it's a fun mechanic, right? So let's get ourselves another bit of power here. Flux plug, because these things are basically free at this point for me. No, not plug, point. Flux point. I feel like we're gonna need more of those in the future. Connected to Darwell 20's network. Matter transmitter, you're getting power. Home base, sounds like a plan. Dialing device, ready to go. Dialing device also needs power, apparently. Okay, cool. Today I learned. So maybe we want to connect these guys up with a little bit of ultimate energy cabling. Cool. What if we put you here? What's back here? Oh, neat. Ultimate universal cable. Boop. And boop. And then that looks nice and clean. I like it. Cool. So you also need power. So this is the transmitter, and this is where it's going. So remember we set up a receiver previously? So if I want to dial up Dire Home, if I just step in here, it'll teleport me to that receiver. Every time you create a dimension in RFTools Dimensions, it will create a receiver in that dimension. So if we have home base and random dim1, we can dial it up. And dial means when you go through, it's going to stay on. Dial once means when a player goes through, it'll turn off, right? Interrupt turns it off completely, right? So from Dire's home base transmitter to random dim1, we're going to dial this up. I have no idea what this dimension is going to look like. It's totally random. It could be up in the clouds. It could be a void dimension. It could be an islands dimension. It could have spirals through it. It could have orbs in it. It could have all kinds of crazy things. It could have negative status effects. The sky could be pink. We'll find out when we get there. Oh my goodness, this place is weird. Is anyone surprised? It is, after all, a random dimension. So bubble coral block and brown flower petal blocks from Britannia, Azul Joe from Britannia, dimensional small. I think we landed on a. No, this is just the platform. Oh, cool. The starting platform is now dimensional small blocks. That's neat. Now here's an important tip. It starts with a fully charged matter receiver. if this thing runs out of power, you will have a problem when you teleport to it if it has no power. So you should probably set up some kind of powering thing for this. But this is our weird dimension that we just found, okay? This is the weird dimension. So it looks like there's some icy blocks going on, some very weird things happening here. What in the world? What are these guys? Ow, ow. Common blobs. Oh, neat. RFTools Dim. RFTools Dim has mobs now. Rare blob. Well, that's neat. I was not prepared for having mobs to fight. And they emit poison. That's kind of cool. Maybe that's where you get this. I think that's where you get the things from. Let me put away a couple gadgets here that we don't need at the exact moment that we're in. Plant fiber from extended caves. Okay, let's check out... Yeah, no, he totally poisoned bad. Whatever's happening, I think it's either the dimension has poison built into it and weakness and hunger, or it's the effect of that mob, because we totally didn't have that a second ago. If I fly away from him... Yes, he's no longer doing it. Oh, dude, that mob has status effects associated with him. That is cool. We just learned a thing, didn't we? Didn't we just learn a thing? So let's get our really overpowered hammer here. Rare blob, I can only assume, drops rare dimensional essence. And notice I made sure to kill him with my looting sword. That is neato burrito. Look at that. Okay, cool. What do we got here? Some orbs. These can be filled with water or some kind of fluid. Or they can be empty. Oh yeah, there's some blobs in there. And look at these cubes. What's inside these guys? Also, interestingly, somewhat empty-ish. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is the weird dimension that we randomly generated. Looks like it's maybe an Eternal Day dimension? Can't tell. Can't tell. But isn't this a thing? This is a thing, this place. Isn't this a thing? This place is very much a thing. So I wonder if the... oh, they do. Look, here's one. There's random buildings that you'll find. And inside said buildings, you can sometimes find knowledge. Cool. And block dimlets. Key and stone. Rarity uncommon. Sweet. I'm very much liking what I'm seeing here. What I'm seeing is there's a whole new aspect to this mod. And that's exciting to me. Because it means fun and new things to learn. So legendary lost knowledge and common lost knowledge. Now, this was craftable from rare, which is craftable from uncommon, which is craftable from common. Okay, cool. So legendary in a knowledge holder to help with creating dimlets. Sweet. That's cool. So that's all that's in these structures now? Is a chest with those things? That's cool. Cool. So yeah, you'll find some knowledge and then a block dimlet. So this is magenta petal block. Cool. That is awesome. I'm very excited for new things. I'm very excited for new things. So we just found block dimlet yellow petal block. Cool. I'm looking for the door. I found the door. Endstone. Okay. All around good time. I like it. I like it. Yeah, look at this. This is just a weird... It's like a half sphere of water with ice on top. That is a weird structure. That is a weird structure. Now, as a note, if you did not bring a charged porter with you, you are now stuck in this dimension forever. So have fun. Maybe, you know, go mining. Hopefully there's ore gen. And hopefully you will be able to get out. But I make no promises. So there's no way out unless you bring a charged porter. So bring a charged porter. Got it? Good. That's what's up. That's what's up. Alright, so what do you guys say we wrap up the episode here, because we're definitely at that good old wrapping up point. We're still producing lots of sodium, which is nice to see. We've got this guy ready. So you might be cool to run Remember before, so what if we set you to 205? You think we've got enough sodium now to run you happily at 205? Yeah, see? See? We've got more sodium now so he can run at 205. That's exciting. That's exciting. That's cool. So we'll let sodium run for a bit. We'll continue to build up large, copious amounts of it. And as we go dimensionally exploring things over here, we will produce lots of sodium, and I feel like that'll be cool. So let's come back next episode, learn more about RFTools Dimensions. Clearly, we figured out some things. We've got some knowledge to unpack. We've got some mob things to do things with. And that's going to be the wrapping up point for the episode. So for now, Deltoy signing off. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Take it easy.